Formula One have just released their 2025 calendar, and it's pretty trash. And given I already made my calendar for 2025, that's already in the bin by now. So let's just make my 2026 calendar right here, right now. Before I begin, 2026 is of course the year where the new regulation changes come out, and hopefully the field spread will be a lot less than what it is now. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Round 1, we're in Australia on March 8th. Australia, I think, for me, is a good season opener. We haven't had a season opener in Australia since 2019 because coronavirus and, of course, the refurbishment and the changes made to the Albert Park circuit. But I think it deserves to be there. Round 2, we head to the Middle East for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix on March 22nd. So the Jeddah Corniche circuit, despite being one of the most dangerous circuits on the Formula One calendar, it is still pretty fast. 27 corners, the most of any track on the Formula One calendar, and the second fastest circuit also on the calendar. So I'd like it to be there. Remaining in the Middle East for round 3, we head to Bahrain, March 29th. So Bahrain is a decent circuit. I don't mind it, but I don't think it should be the season opener. Like maybe in late March or early April due to Ramadan. Maybe that's where it should be. Round 4 heading off to Asia now. And the Malaysian Grand Prix on April the 12th. Now, Malaysia, we haven't been there since 2017 due to decreasing crowd numbers. But I think it's gonna be good for Malaysia. Of course, Petronas have bought the circuit. They now own the rights to own the circuit because Petronas sponsored all 19 Malaysian Formula One Grand Prix, and in 2022 and 2023, it sponsored the MotoGP Malaysian Grand Prix. Remaining in Asia, round 5, and a slight change. The Singapore Grand Prix on the 19th of April. So the reason why I put Singapore right there is because Marina Bay and Kuala Lumpur, not that far away, at just 62.7 kilometers away. We finally begin the European tour of the calendar, which begins in Imola, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix on the May the 3rd. So Imola, we haven't raced there since 2022 and since due to flooding in the region. Fortunately, it's returning for this season and next season as well. For 2026, I'd like it to return to the calendar if it renews its contract. Round 7, Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain, Spanish Grand Prix, May 17th, for the Gran Premio de España. Of course, Formula One are planning to move to the Spanish Grand Prix from the Circuit de Catalunya to Madrid for 2026. But if I was FIA president, I would want Catalunya to remain on the calendar for at least 5 years extra maximum. First European doubleheader ends with Monaco, May 24. Monaco is the crown jewel of the Formula One season, but it is notoriously difficult to overtake there. Although qualifying can put up a bit of a show, as we saw last year, where 5 or probably 6 drivers were in contention for pole position, and for 1 second it looks like Fernando Alonso could take his first pole position with Aston Martin, until Max Verstappen took pole by just a few hundredths of a second. And then in the race, Alonso could have won the GP had he pitted for intermediates once the rain started to fall down instead of medium tires. A little break from Europe, and now we head to Canada, June 7th. Canada is one of my favorite circuits on the Formula One calendar. Gilles Villeneuve, one of my favorite Formula One drivers. Now that can be spicy. Of course, Canada is one of my favorite circuits because the corners, of course, that infamous Wall of Champions chicane, even though Pastor Maldonado crashed there once, but he's a Formula One champion in our hearts, and hence why I put it there. 2-week break before we head off to Germany. Round 10, June 28th, and of course, the Hockenheim Ring. I personally love both Hockenheim and the Nürburgring, but when you have to choose one, I think Hockenheim stands out, of course, because Hockenheim has that history Of course, when I talk about the Nürburgring, I'm obviously talking about the GP layout, not the Nordschleife. FI must be drunk if they would want F1 to return to the Nordschleife. Of course, the German Grand Prix is the start of our first triple header of the season, and you might be asking, but Matthew, where is the next race being held? Glad you asked that. That is, of course, in Austria, the Red Bull Ring on July the 5th. Now, the Red Bull Ring, actually one of my favorite circuits on the Formula One calendar. Despite having 10 corners, it used to be a bit less fearful in used to be a less fearless in the first when it first joined the F1 calendar in 1970. So, and because Jochen Rindt was alive back then, unfortunately Rindt retired with mechanical failures, but the next race he would lose his life in a crash at Monza, but he won the championship. I'd love Formula One to remain at the Red Bull Ring for at least another 5 years, because such circuits are just too good to drop off the Formula One calendar. Like, if they drop off the Formula One calendar, then just Formula One just won't be Formula One anymore. And then round 12, the British Grand Prix, you know it's being kept. Silverstone, I don't need to explain why. Hungarian Grand Prix next July 26th. Now, the final race before the summer break. And you know, the Hungaroring. Once again, nicknamed Monaco without the barriers, it can produce some good qualifying sessions. Of course, last year where Lewis Hamilton took his 104th pole position, despite not having one since the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix of 2021. So I think it suits some cars well, but in race pace, just not one of the best. Now Formula One is back from the summer break, and round 12, the Belgian Grand Prix, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, yeah, I say more. Round 15, of course, because of close proximity, the Dutch Grand Prix on August 30th at Zandvoort. So now Zandvoort, in its early days, it used to be one of the most dangerous circuits on the calendar, with 2 fatal crashes including Piers Courage and Roger Williamson. Although none of those had nothing to do with had barely anything to do with the circuit, but rather mostly the cars, it was still a bit fearful. Back in the days. Round 16 and the Gran Premio d'Italia on September 13th. Monza, of course. Once again, do I really need to explain anything else? Round 17, Azerbaijan on September 20th. So now, in 2024, which is this year, Formula One are planning to move the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from its usual April or June slot all the way down into September, and I'll quite fit with it that way, because you know Baku is one of the fastest street circuits on the Formula One calendar. Of course, that castle section where the I am stupid crash occurred, or Lance Stroll being pipped to second place on the line by Valtteri Bottas. Stroll still getting his first podium in the process, so it can produce some good races. With Singapore moving up to April, that leaves a slot open up between Baku and Japan. And of course, China is going to be taking that place. Of course, China taking place in October will be no stranger to all the Formula One fans who have been watching the sport since the early to mid 2000s. Between 2004 and 2008, in China's first 5 visits in Formula One's first 5 visits to Shanghai, it took place in September or October. It took place in autumn season in 2009. It was moved into April. Now China will take place in round 2 of the Formula One season next year. With China, of course, having been off the calendar for 4 years due to COVID-19, I'd love to see way more races on the calendar. Continuing, round 19, the Japanese Grand Prix. Gotta hurry up because time is going by. Japanese Grand Prix, October 11th, Suzuka Circuit. Do I need to explain anymore? Round 20, the United States Grand Prix on October 25th. It's a decent circuit, the Circuit of the Americas. I like you at Formula One in the USA, but only one race sometimes. Round 21, the Mexican Grand Prix, November the 1st. Need I say more? Sergio Perez. And then entering our final triple header of the season, round 22, Brazil, November 8th, rounding off our last triple header of the season. round 23 I had a difficult choice to make because I only wanted to fit 24 races into it, because as far as I know, Abu Dhabi was going to be the season finale, but that means I had to choose for round 23 to be either Qatar or Las Vegas. But I think I chose Qatar because I want Las Vegas to be held as a biannual event from then, of course, because it is scheduled to take place there until 2030. Same for Lusail. So, but I think Lusail has the edge over Las Vegas. You know, Abu Dhabi is going to be around 24, November 29th, Qatar November 22nd. So now that is my calendar for 2026, sorry. And now in the background, if you can hear properly, you know, the Formula 1 theme song is going on because of course it is qualifying time for the Formula 1 Miami Grand Prix. 3 p.m. Jamaica time, wherever you're living, whatever time it is, UK time, probably like 8 or 9 p.m. or something like that. But either way, make sure to like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more Formula 1 content.